We're right in the middle of the most interesting thing we've worked on, which is a conversion of a hotel at the Los Angeles airport from a Radisson to a Independent to a Hyatt Regency. And it's fascinating to see what you need to do these days to turn an old airport hotel into a brand new hotel.
The most interesting thing we've done years ago, we did a Hilton Garden Inn, and it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the airport, new build. It was very early on, Hilton Garden Inn's first prototype. So there was a little bit of risk in that since the product hadn't been proven out. We were able to get a big barrier to entry with first right of refusal on that property. And so for 10 years we were able to operate it without any additional competition.
I feel the most interesting deal for us was the property in Atlanta we recently acquired about 6 months ago. It was a former Crowne Plaza that was to be converted to a Carlson brand. We went in there and looked at the opportunity, and the owner obviously had a little bit of financial difficulty. The challenge there was the asking price was significantly higher than what we thought it was worth. When we realized that the Braves Stadium was opening a new facility about a mile and a half down the road, we sort of recalculated our underwriting process and were able to acquire that hotel. And after a very fast renovation, we just opened about a month ago. We're very proud of it. It's doing very well. It's significantly enhanced our portfolio as far as going into the full service properties.
We've had everything in our portfolio from $25,000 to $50,000, signage loans to ADA lifts, all the way to the HVAC system in the Venetian Hotel for $25 to $30 million. And we like that loan because you have to have air conditioning in Vegas. And also at the Red Rock Country Club, an irrigation system behind the Howard Hughes Trust, because you have to have water in Vegas, especially on your golf course. And so all of those things blended from $25,000 to $25 million, we have been able to package and have rated and sold into the capital markets. And doing that with the geographic diversification, the borrower diversification, everything that we have to go through, a Monte Carlo simulation, which basically runs hypotheticals through a system with the rating agencies of what your defaults may or may not be based on everything from SBA lending to other public securitizations, which REITs will default. Here are the keys, there's no recourse there. That will certainly throw off a rating of our recourse loans. And so with all of that in the finance vernacular, to wrap all of that up and be able to get into the capital markets and sell those loans, regenerate that capital and go back out and make new loans to developers while we hold the first 1/3 of the risk is an interesting portfolio for us.
The most interesting portfolio deal I did a number of years ago when I was with a different firm, and it actually had it was a very bad deal that had come to fruition probably in the mid-'80s, and here I was in the mid-'90s trying to figure out exactly what to do with it. It was 56 hotels spread out throughout the country. We needed to dispose of it quickly because there was debt timelines, and what we did is we bifurcated the deal into about 8 or 10 different pieces. We were able to sell some of the portfolios off in big chunks, and then there was a chunk of 24 hotels that we sold to 24 individual owners, new owners. They were different owners, but they all had similar last names, and at the end of the day we got back all our money. We broke even. So the best portfolio deal I ever did, I broke even on, and I would call that a huge victory.
Probably the most interesting portfolio deal that we've done is something that we're doing currently, and it's very outside the box, and we're incredibly excited about it. But we've entered into a strategic relationship with Serendipity Labs, which is a shared workspace model and new brand. It's similar to Regus, but it's much more contemporary and more focused towards the millennials. It's a $9 billion industry, and currently about 30% of the workforce works from home. By 2020, that number is expected to go to 60%. In 2 weeks, we open up our first location on Main and Main in Chicago, 1 South Wacker. And we are working with Serendipity Labs to have 10 locations, hopefully by this time next year, in a JV structure. So it's the formation of a new portfolio, a new SBU. The difference about what we're going to be doing with Serendipity Labs versus the Regus model is that there's a hospitality element, and that's where HVEMG comes in. Basically running the lab as we would a hotel and offering the same type of guest service to those members. We're very excited about it. It's very creative, it's very outside the box, and it's the wave of the future.
Actually, one of the more interesting deals that we're working on currently is 2 adaptive reuses in Central Business District markets in California. Taking old historic hotels and old historic office buildings rather, and looking at the MEP issues and really how to create a select service hotel out of an old historic building, which is something that we've been focusing on in the markets that have the highest barriers to entry. So, that's one of the more interesting ones that we're working on, because you're involving the city, you're involving bonds, you're involving very different ownership groups trying to come together, whether it be through a joint venture, brand participation, and also city participation.